So hello, this is TiXL 4063 and I am going to show you around. So it's an unscripted video and I want to help beginners, newcomers, new people who are trying to use this software to know the basics. So this is what you see when you run the TiXL for the first time. You should see it should ask you to enter a nickname. So once you have entered your nickname, you see Project Hub and you can click on the plus icon where you will enter a project name. Let's call it Basics. And that's all. We don't need to add something here. It's optional. And in most cases, I would suggest to keep at least one project with shared resources. So let's click Create. Also, right now we are seeing the TiXL with my theme color. So I will go to the TiXL menu, go to Settings, and I will switch to the default. So it'll match to your experience. Okay. So once I've created this Basics Project Hub project, let's click on it. And this is what we see. So with the right click, you can pan the graph view. I think with the middle click, it's working also. Okay. So what I will enable the interaction overlay in the view menu. So you can see what I'm doing with my mouse. And also the keys. So for example, one important key is the F. So I'm like this, and if I press F, it will center what's in the graph view in this window. This is the graph view window. And we can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out, zoom in, zoom out the view. And here there is a short tutorial that tells us double click. So this is an operator. And this one, and this one, and this one, and all of these, you can call them how you like, but they are all the same thing. They are just a box with input and output, and something is happening inside. It's like a small program with inputs and outputs. Input, output. Okay. So how to use TiXL? So let's double click on this one because it says so. Or first, when we click once, then the output view is showing us this. This is the render of this how to use TiXL operator or symbol or project. So let's double click on it. And now you see basic user interface, welcome, creating and connecting operators. So this is the load image operator that by default, it shows this frog. And here we see the output, and I can click and drag and connect to detect edges. So now if I click detect edges, we see the result of detect edges. Let's take a look at the parameters window. So here is the parameters window. So if I click this operator, load image, you'll see that here we have the path to this image. And here we have different parameters. So we can have fun with the parameters. Let's click on the blob. And here you can see we have color. So you can change the color. The background is white, but on this side of this square, you see that there are some checkboard texture, a checkboard texture. This means it's transparent. So if I click this, here in the color picker tool, we can see that this small white line is here. This means the alpha channel is completely transparent. This field corresponds to the alpha channel. I can click here to use RGB A. So if I want red, let's click here, enter 0, click here, 0. And now my background for this blob is red, but it's fully transparent. And you can see here that the background is kind of gray. So let's try to make this color fully opaque. So no alpha channel, so the alpha channel is set to 1. Now you see there are two colors, some green in the middle and then the red. And we can play with the parameters like this. And maybe, I don't think rotate we need it, but maybe if I do like this, and now rotate, we see something, yeah. If I reduce the feather, something like this. And yeah, that's it. You can play with position when you see a vector 2. A vector 2 is X and Y. And you can play like this. Okay, so what else could I show you? Oh, so right now we are inside how to use TiXL. And here we see like a breadcrumb. If I want to go back to the original project, I can click here. And it tells me, oh, you made some change in a read-only operator. Do you want to save your change in a new operator? So in this case, I don't want, so I will click no. It's because the operators that are shipped with TiXL, they are protected, so you can't change themselves. So for example, if I take a look at how to use TiXL, I think it's important to keep it like it is, so you can come back to it and it still looks the same. Like if you did a lot of mess, we are coming back. I double click on it, and now I can see my blob it's in original state. Also, there's another way to go out of an operator of a project. You can double click, and now we are back. So double click to go inside, double click in the void to go back. Let's take a look at this. So let's click here because things are happening on the left side and you follow the path and then you have the result at the end. Sometimes data are also going on the opposite way, but that's another topic. So now we see this. And for example, with this one, we can take a look at the variations window. And in the variation window, we see this. So maybe I can enable this. And it should show me. Let's click here and then no. Okay, I need to enable. So in the variation window, I can right click, update thumbnails, and it will generate thumbnails for the presets. And you can also enable live render preview and previews on over. So now I should see differences according to the different presets when my mouse is hovering. Like this. Okay, what else we can watch? How to draw things. So how to draw things by default will show you this damaged helmet. Like this. I need to check something. Okay, so let's have a little fun. Let's create something. Because you can still, now you know how to double click, go inside an operator, and take a look, and read everything, and see what is happening. So let's see some other basic important things that we need to know. So let's create something from scratch. In the graph view, you can left click and hold it, and then you see this menu appearing. So it offers us numbers, image, we can generate points, and there are some render operator and some miscellaneous things. So maybe I will select generate, and in generate we can load an image, we can do noise. Let's try noise, fractal noise. And now we have this fractal noise operator. You say we can change the color, like this. Maybe this one becomes black. We can play with the bias and gain, like change a bit, get some different result. You can change the scale. I was too fast, so sometimes it's always good. Oh, this is interesting. When I left click, we see this, and it looks like a ruler. And now, if I drag my mouse on the left, I reduce the value. On the right, I increase the value. And I can also change the scale. Like here, we can finely tune the value between 0 and 1. But if I move a bit up, like this, and now you see 0 to 10, and I can go, wow, to 10, yeah, without having to move my mouse a lot on the right or on the left. So what else we can talk about? Okay, I wanted to create something. So holding left click brings you this menu. But we also have tab. So if you hit the tab key, you get the same menu. Then you can type what you want. So I want to create something very basic. I want to create a cube, like the Blender people, they have their default cube. So here you can create a cube by typing cube. And then it shows us different operators. So the first one is cube mesh. So let's click on it. And when this cube mesh is selected, we see 24 vertices, 12 faces, but no cube, because we need to draw it. So I keep it selected, and I will add a new operator called draw mesh. So there are different ways to do it. The first way, you can hover this output, and then click and drag, and when you release, it will offer you to use draw mesh. So okay, let's use it. And now we have our cube. And now it's a good opportunity to take a look at the output window, output view. With my mouse in the output window, while draw mesh is selected, I can use the left click to take a look at it, to take a look at my cube. Also, I can use the right mouse button to pan the view, and the mouse wheel to do, and maybe we can mess a lot, and then, where is my cube? So here you can use fit, reset view, or reset camera position, because while we are using this kind of operator, the fit will reset the camera position. And now the cube is back. And I can do the same with the F key. It will bring back the camera in its default position. But here we don't have any camera. So let's add one. I showed you by clicking this output and then click and dragging to add a new operator. But we can also do like this. With the operator selected, we can just hit the tab key and it will offer a selection of operator. And in this list, I can find camera. And now I have my camera with all its parameters. And it's almost the same result. So let's move on. Now I need a render because as you can see, the background is gray here. And I discovered recently something. Here you have a square that corresponds to a color. Adjust background color of view. So if I change this, if I click here, I get a color picker. And now I can change the background color. But this background color stands only for those kinds of operators. As you can see, this cube mesh generator has this color, like a brownish color. Those two operators have different color because they have different purposes. So now I want to add a render target. And now with render target, we see a texture 2D. It's a bitmap. And as you can see, the render target has a parameter called clear color, and this is the color of the background. So another interesting thing, like when you're over this square, you can put your mouse on the right side of the square, left click, and then drag down or drag up to control only the alpha channel. This can be very useful because sometimes you don't want to click here, go here, change the alpha channel, or use this bar to change the alpha channel. This is a shortcut. And as you can see, we have a black background here, while this color is still blue, because this color we only show here. So maybe I want something more neutral like this. Okay. So render target. So now we have created a very basic scene where we have a cube, we draw the cube, and then we take a look at the cube with the camera, and then we render what the camera is viewing. So I can also, as you can see, every time I select an operator, the output view is changing. And maybe I don't want that, because now I want to work on my final render, and I want to keep this in focus. So while the render target is connected, as here you can see a little pin icon, pin output to activate operator. So I will click on it. And now this operator is pinned. We see this little white square here, white rectangle. And when this operator is pinned, it means the output view will only show you the result of this operator. So now if I click camera, or draw mesh, or cube mesh, we'll still see the render target. Now I can, but when I'm in the render target, I can't move the camera. I can use right click to, no, I can't even. Maybe I can use this. This will show me the, oh yeah, this will show me the real size of the pixels, because here we have the resolution. I think you should be with, for you should read fill here. So if I fit the view with fill instead of refill, because I messed with my configuration files, you see how the output view resolution is changing. And I prefer to use by default 720p or 1080p. So let's click 1080p. So now it's always a 1080p render. I think I already talked a lot, and this is already a 20-minute video. So I should finish here. I hope you had fun, and I will do another video to show more things.